Many Catholics say the Mass is central. They claim it is the same sacrifice Jesus gave. They say it has continued from the apostles to today. But the truth is very different. The Mass today is not the same as the early Church experienced. It is a medieval development. It grew over centuries. Humans added much to it. In the New Testament, Jesus offered himself once. Hebrews 10 is clear. His sacrifice on the cross was complete. It was enough to take away all sin. It does not need to be repeated. Yet in the Mass, the priest represents it every day. Over and over, this is not what Scripture teaches. Scripture says Christ's work is sufficient. The early Church did not have Mass as we know it. They celebrated the Lord's Supper. They took bread and wine together. They remembered what Jesus did. They did not believe bread and wine became Christ. They did not believe it was a repeated sacrifice. It was remembrance, it was thanksgiving, it was fellowship. Transubstantiation came later, centuries after the apostles. It is not in Scripture. The apostles never taught it. The Mass elevates the priest as mediator. The priest alone offers the sacrifice to God. The people watch. This contradicts Scripture. All believers are priests. 1 Peter 2 says so. Every Christian can approach God directly through Christ. Catholics bow and kneel. They worship the Eucharist. They pray to Christ in the bread. Sometimes they call it God. This is idolatry. God forbids worshiping what He did not create. The early Church never did this. Historically, the Mass grew. The early Lord's Supper was simple. It was a meal. It was for remembrance. By the 4th and 5th centuries, priests repeated words suggesting a sacrifice. Symbols became literal. By the Middle Ages, it was unrecognizable to early Christians. The Mass teaches Christ's one sacrifice is insufficient. It teaches humans must act to participate in salvation. It teaches the priest can offer Jesus again. All of this is unbiblical. The truth is simple. Jesus died once. He died for all. We remember Him in the supper. We proclaim His death until He returns. We worship Him directly, not through bread or wine. We do not need a priest to make salvation effective. So next time someone says the Mass is the Last Supper, remember this. The early Church never had the Mass as it exists today. The Mass repeats what Scripture says is complete. The Mass elevates human ritual over Christ's work. It misleads millions to think salvation depends on a repeated sacrifice. True worship is in spirit and truth. It centers on Christ. It follows His word. It does not depend on bread, wine, or priestly ritual. The Mass is human tradition. It is not a biblical command. It obscures the gospel. It distracts from Christ. It is time to return to the early Church. It is time to worship Jesus as He commanded, once for all. That is the biblical truth about the Mass.